Hey guys, I'm gonna do, I guess you could call it a reptile room video, but I have my reptiles spread throughout the house, or apartment I should say. Um, so yeah, save all your hate comments and all that other shit, because I really don't care about it. Um, I'm not harming any of the animals, you know, none of their setups are terrible, and hopefully I can answer the questions before you beat me to them and that Mr. Know-It-All thinks that they can correct everybody. So, anyways, here we go. Starting with, this is a reptile, but see, look at right there. Water levels extremely low. Yes, I know, I have to get water for it. So I got a 55-gallon saltwater fish tank. Not much is in there. I had a lionfish in there. And I had a butterfly. I had a nitrite outbreak, and those are the only two that died. These guys are pretty hardy. I only got four damsels in the tank, and there, that one, and then the 4-stripe that keeps running away from me, and then just some live rock, dry rock decoration. I would turn the lights on, but that's the only thing I did not clean before I started the video. I gotta scrub it down. So next, this guy's in a temporary housing because I'm building him an enclosure right now. I got 3 enclosures I'm building in the garage right now. Just haven't finished them. I got a 2-year-old that I have to take care of as well, so I get to it when I can, which will be this afternoon. So this is Spike. He's in a 30-gallon right now, which I know is small, but like I said, I'm working on an enclosure for him downstairs. He was pretty much the guy who got me into the hobby. He was the first reptile I've ever had. Yeah, very big. He had a big meaty head on him. It's cool. Very cool. Energetic too. He's very energetic. Not like my other bearded dragons that I'll show you later on. This is my leopard gecko tank. You know, guys, honestly, I use newspaper on most of all my animals, just because it's easy to clean up. You know, I work 8 to 5 every day of the week, except for Saturday, Sunday. And when I come home, you know, I don't want the stuff sitting there, so I can just rip it out, put a new piece of newspaper in, and it's clean, ready to go. So this is one of my leopard geckos here. Pretty sure he's just a normal. I'm not a leopard gecko guru. And then I also have, she's in that tube somewhere. She's a very bright orange color. I don't know if that's a tangerine or what, but again, I'm not an expert. I got the UV and heat light one combo in the dome there. A hide in the back. And then I put these tubes in because they like to crawl out and sleep in them a lot. And then I got their water dish, their calcium dish, and yes, their food dish is empty. They devoured it this morning, so I need to go out and get them more food. So that's them. And then we'll move on to the bedroom. So in here, I've got these cages I made here. They're all stackable. That's what I'm making downstairs, is 2 more stackables. And I'm also working on a 6-foot enclosure. 6 foot by 3 foot or 4 foot. I'm not sure yet what size I'm going to make it. Probably 4 foot. I'm probably just going to go bigger. And as you can probably already see, that is for my boy Jax down here. He is awesome. I got him a little bit smaller than what he is now. He was very hyper energetic, but I've worked with him a lot and he's very calm now. I can take him out without any problems, and he's sitting in this 3x3 tank. I mounted all my UVB and heat light with the ceramic fixture up top. All these lights are on a timer, so they go off at night. I don't have to worry about shutting them off, which is pretty good. and then I got the bark in there. It holds in moisture pretty good. I have one of these that I picked up at Walmart for like, I think it was like $9. One of these digital thermostats, tells you the temperature and humidity. So I check his daily along with all my other cages. I try not to let the beauty's cage get above 35% because you run the risk of respiratory infection. So yeah, I'll just go up to the next one. This is Minnie. My daughter named her, so don't ask about the names. She's about a year old. I got her, a little bit smaller than this. Very, very nice red and violet in color. She does have a nip nail. I got her like that, but that doesn't make me love her any less. And as a flooring, I use this vinyl stripping here to give it a little bit more of a look to it. Again, I put paper towel down newspaper, excuse me, when I go to work, just because it's easier to clean up. They shit on a daily basis, so it's easy for me to pick up. And then when she wants to relax and sleep, yeah, it's an old pair of boxer shorts. I cleaned them. They don't fit. You probably didn't need to know that, but she loves it. She loves laying in there. She seems very relaxed. So, and as far as the door goes, I just got one of those adjustable window screens, and I put a screw in it, and that way it can just slide closed and open. Good ventilation. And it stays between 88 and 95 on the hot spot, so it's not really letting much heat out at all. And then I put a screw on the side here too, so I wrap a rubber band around, so there's no chance of them getting out. Same thing with the Tegu. I wrap a rubber band around the side here. Probably not the strongest thing, but they're still tiny. So up here is my juvenile tank. I've got 4 of them in there right now, which is probably the most I'm going to put in there. I already made a mess of that cage. I just cleaned the cages like an hour ago. I got a rock back there. I just stick stuff in the tank, what I have. If it's just laying around the house, I just find who could use it, and I put it in there. A branch, so all of them have a spot to sit. That right there on that rock is my leatherback. Most of these guys had some type of deformity. That's how I picked them up. But again, it doesn't mean I love them any less. I believe it's a she, has a couple of nipped toes in the back. Down here is my citrus. She is also a female. She's normal, except for the end of her tail. She's got a little bit of a nip there. Very, very beautiful coloring. The markings on the face there. Same thing with her. She's got nice markings on her face too. So, and back here in the corner, we got the hypo. Just chilling. Got a couple of nip toes. Couple of nip toes right there and there. And then on the way back is my translucent. Very bright orange. Especially, it's kind of dark where he's sitting, but he's very, very orange. As you can see, most of his toes are gone on this foot. So, unfortunately, that's just the way it is. Most of these, guy had them, and he kept like 20 of them in a 20-gallon long tank, which is just outrageous. But there's people like that out there, excuse me. You just can't do anything about it. That's just how it is. So yeah, there's my stackables. Freaking sweet, huh? No, I'm just kidding. And over here, I plan on breeding my bearded dragons at some point when they get older. I have 3 that are pretty close to breeding size. So I know you see all this duct tape in this. You probably think, oh, this guy is a freaking jackwagon, whatever the hell, But this was just kind of a mock-up to hold everything together. But, so, as you can see, it's just a styrofoam cooler, nothing special. I have a piece of glass here. that I am gonna cut out and seal in here so I can put a thermostat inside and always monitor the temperature. And then as far as inside goes, I know it's probably really dark. As far as inside goes, I've got heat cable on the bottom. It gets the cage plenty warm enough. That's why you have a thermostat hooked up to it. I'll probably keep it at like between 82 and 85. Probably nothing more. And then here, what I'm going to do is I've got a container here that I cut out the bottom. It's just a little tub. I cut out the bottom here so the heat transfers up. And then there's the cover to match it. This white cover. Cut that out. I'm going to clean that up too. But that's actually going to sit upside down. And then I got a piece of mesh here that is going to be glued down inside there once everything gets cleaned up. And then the container here, this won't be the container I use, but that'll just sit right on top and all the heat will transfer up to the bottom of the container like it should. So yeah, it's you know, it's not the most expensive thing in the world, and not that I'm cheap, but I've seen all these people make their own incubators and a lot of them have had good success, so I figured, hell, why not I give it a shot? What's up, dude? What's up, dude? Talking to my daughter, excuse me. One more thing I want to show you guys. Oh yeah, also for my bearded dragons, I pre-mix all my salad. That's for the adults. And this is a little bit smaller for the juveniles. And I usually mix it up with calcium. I'm seriously considering on going multivitamins. I know you guys are probably going to say, oh, well, why are you just thinking about it now? You should have started it from day one. But yeah, I don't know. I just I haven't really thought about it that much. But if I'm going to consider breeding bearded dragons and eventually selling them, even if they weren't, you know, they do need to be really healthy. And the multivitamin, I've heard, I think it's by Reptile, does a really good job. So while I'm at the store today, I'm probably going to pick some of that up and start using it. And then I usually give everybody a bath in this tub right here. Not the big tub, the little tub. And then I'll clean down the tub after, so that way, you know, nobody complains that, oh, the tub's dirty, oh, you wash your animals in it. Well, you know, no, I put them in here, and then after I'm done, I usually scrub the tub with a chemical, so that way it kills whatever's in there, which I've never heard of anybody getting sick from a reptile. But there's some people you just cannot convince. So I'm going to cover up the camera right now. I'm about to enter a room that is a disaster because we're cleaning. This is the day we decided to clean and get rid of the stuff we don't need. So, hold on a second. And just in case you're wondering what I'm doing, take you into a room. We have a huge walk-in closet that doesn't really get used for anything. So, here it is. I mean, it's not huge, but it's big enough. So, we got a bunch of shelving down here. That was a half-made ball python rack that didn't work out. So I ended up making another one out of wood. That one worked a lot better. But, you know, we got all this space here. I'm sure I could fit tanks on the shelves. I kind of want this to be like an invertebrate room for teas and centipedes and all that stuff, but I don't really know if I'm going to get into that. I'll probably just use this for, you know, if I do hatch out babies, this can be a baby bearded dragon room. Also, I'm thinking about getting into the skinks as well. Those guys are pretty cool. So, I could also put those in here. But, if I do get teas, the wifey said that they need to be in their own room. She doesn't mind me having them, but they need to be in their own room. So that's what brought to mind this. This closet does have a light fixture. It gets switched on when you turn on the bedroom light, which is pretty stupid. This apartment was made half-ass. So if I were to screw a light bulb in there, oh yeah, stick my fucking finger in there, I would probably get lit up. But thing is, they use horsehair in the closet, and actually in most of this house. But in this closet, they use horsehair, and there's no insulation behind it. So we actually have a walk-in attic that's right next door here. So what I was thinking about doing is just going to the store, getting either some fiberglass or styrofoam insulation, and fitting it between the studs, and then expand foam the seams so that it stays in place. And I was thinking about just going all around the back of the closet, except for this side. I'm going to have to put styrofoam on the inside of the closet on this side, because I do not have access. Wait, yes I do. I do have access to that. So all the back side of this will be insulated, so, because it's freezing in here right now. It's about, I don't know, 32 degrees out. I live in Massachusetts, so it's pretty cold out here, and I'm not sticking anybody in here. It's gonna freeze, so that's a work in progress. You just got a glimpse of the room. See, it was a mess, I told you. One more guy that I want to show you. He's hiding over here. This is my boy, Simba. He is probably the chillest bearded dragon I have. I just sit, do nothing really. I think he's going into brumation. He doesn't really do much of anything. Just sleeps all day. Doesn't eat that much like he used to. So, if that's the case, I've been doing 10 hours of light and 14 hours of night in his cage, you know, to help him out. If that's what he's going to do, then I'm going to help him aid in the process. But, so yeah, those are all my animals so far. I did at one point have like 13 snakes. I had a red-tailed boa, I had a Burmese python, albino ball python, I had a bunch of ball pythons, and a couple of corn snakes. But when I was moving everything around, I didn't want them to get stressed, and it was tough to find the room to have my rack. I wanted to put them in the closet during the summer. That closet gets way too hot during the winter. It gets too cold, so I could not put them in there. I couldn't put them in the walk-in attic because it's the same thing. So I ended up just selling them so they would go to a good home, and you know what? I'll just start over. Not really a big deal. So yeah, thanks for watching, and again, save the comments. I really don't want to hear them. Okay, thanks.